Hey, what's up you guys? Welcome back to my channel. So this is part 2 of my dual sliding cargo build series. And in this video, I'm going to show you guys how I attach the top sliding platform as well as build out the rear sleeper system. I also fixed the mistake that I made with my drawer in this video. So let's go ahead and get into the video. Alright guys, here's where we were at. Kind of ran into a small hiccup. So I got my drawer slides, or sorry, these slides are for the topper. It's got the lock with it. It's also a 36 inch. And they're actually heavier duty than I was expecting. I mean, they're quite thick. I mean, they're as thick as these 500-pound drawer slides, so I guess that's a good thing. I went and purchased some of these angle irons. It's aluminum, 1/8 inch. This is a 4-foot piece, so I'll obviously cut it down, but so just imagine that this is going to hold the platform up, and then this side of the bracket will attach to here. So my problem is, see this gap? It's big enough, you know, for this side, but not for that side. And then another issue is, you know, once I fasten, you know, this piece onto this piece of angle iron, you know, the bolts or whatever I'm going to use are going to hit the drawer. I think what I want to focus on right now is getting this topper to slide. So I've already gone ahead and marked where I need to cut the angle iron. I just pushed it up to the back and then drew a line, as you can see there. So I'll cut that off. Alright guys, here's where we're at. Mocking up the slide. And so remember how I was telling you guys, I don't really want, so just pretend this is the topper. I don't really want it to rub against this if I can help it. So what I'm going to do is, I found these 2 keys. I think they're from my club that I don't use, but I'm going to put it under here to give it a small gap, clamp it, and then push this thing all the way up against this piece, and do the same for the back as well. And that'll kind of give me a small gap, you know, small enough where it won't rub, and maybe small enough for when there's a lot of weight on this, it will actually rest on this. I don't know, it's just a theory, who knows. So one thing also I had to be careful about is this this lever right here. So I had to make sure that I had enough clearance in my Forerunner, and I barely have enough clearance with it sticking out about 3/4 inch here. So one thing to consider when you guys are doing this is, you know, don't make it so close to the edge of the Forerunner tailgate. So one other thing I noticed is this angle iron, even though I cut it to size, I think I'm gonna have to cut it again, because you can see there's about a 1 inch, you know, gap, or 1 inch extra material from the edge of the slide here, mainly because I don't want it to get in the way of this thing. Alright, got everything set up. So fake top platform with the key underneath for the gap, and then pushed all these slides up against there, clamped it, same on that side. You can see I took out the slide and exposed some of the holes, so I'm gonna start drilling it in. And then in the front, I actually marked it. Can't really see it, but there's a line in there to make sure that this lever has enough room. test fit. Alright, it looks perfect. Alright guys, so I mucked up everything. Line this guy up right here to the edge. Under here I just clamped this bar to the top of the platform because it's actually sitting on the 2x8 still, so it's kind of, you know, simulating where it's gonna live. And then over there I just used an extra piece of wood that I found to kind of hold the backside up. So here I'm gonna mark at least one hole, and then I'm gonna pull it out some more and try to see if I can get a second hole. Alright guys, got both of the slides done. They work independently right now, obviously. But, yeah, come out all the way. Whoa, a little bit too much there. You're supposed to stop. There we go. Yep. And you kind of get the idea, so this flat piece is going to lay over both of these angle irons. We're going to screw it in from the bottom using some, you know, small screws. Alright guys, so I went and got new hardware for mounting the slides to the angle iron here, but before I do that, I'm going to drill maybe like 4 holes on each of these angle irons. That way we can attach, use those holes to attach screws to the plywood here. And then I'll attach everything, and then from the bottom we can put the screws in, and that'll hold this piece to the angle iron. So I found some number 6 1/2-inch screws. Alright guys, mark the holes. You know, it doesn't really matter where. Evenly spread it out is probably a good idea, but I already center punched, you know, the metal here. And we're just gonna drill some holes. Alright guys, I got everything drilled out and ready to go. So I went and bought these 1/4-20 1/2-inch machine screws. I already had some leftover stainless steel 1/4-20 nylon lock nuts. Alright, all the slides are back in, tightened down. As you can see here, this is what I was talking about earlier with the drawer. It's going to hit on these nuts right there, so that's okay, we'll worry about that later. We'll put this in, back in for now. So we're going to clamp under here the angle iron and the plywood together on both sides, so that way it, you know, keeps it together. Alright, let me show you guys. So that's those are the 4 screws. Same on this side. Nicely. And this will probably come out a little bit better once the drawer is actually locked down to the Forerunner. Right now I have a tendency to want to move. See here, it's locked. And it's flexing over there, but I think it should be pretty decently strong. But this is as far out as it goes, and then yeah, it goes all the way back in pretty easily. Yeah, I think what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put the anchor points in on the sides. Alright, so I just took off these eye bolts from the old cargo I have here. should work okay. Alright guys, there she is, inside the back. Yeah, it's a little late right now, but oh well. I got it strapped down only to the sides. I need to add some to the back as well. But yeah, I put my Arctic cooler in there. Can't remember how large it is, I think 37 quarts. Looks like it fits nicely. Let me show you guys sliding action. So I think what I'll need to do is, add some kind of pull strap right there, just to make it a little bit easier to pull it out, or maybe make a handle right here, like drill a circle out so I can pull it. But there you go. Goes back in pretty nice as well. Alright guys, here's the final product. So from the front, it looks like this. You can see it's notched out. Looks like it's notched out a little bit. Alright. So you can see there, works independently from each other. Alright guys, next step is to make the extension for the sleeper. So remember all these wood that I cut off on the side right here? Actually ends up fitting pretty nicely right here. So I'm going to just use this, and I suggest you have a nail gun for this, because if you don't, it's going to be hard to line things up perfectly. Let me test the seat fitment here. Still fits. So I got my countersink bit set up, and I'm just gonna do 4 holes. Alright guys, take the measurement. Looks like it's about 27 inches. And that's gonna give me that tight fit that I need. So I've already marked the line here. I'm gonna cut this out, and then I'm gonna decide how wide I need it. And if you remember from my last video, I wanna make sure that it still fits somewhere in here for storage, and I think if I can just lay it flat in here, I think that'll be ideal. Alright guys, I cut the piece out, and I cut a 37 3/4 inch length by 27, as you saw earlier. So I made it fit this way, so it's that way it's a little bit longer, so that way I have more width back there to fit mattresses and stuff. So I'm using a number 10 1/2-inch screw. Alright guys, everything's back in and working nicely, as you can see. So we're going to go ahead and put this back in. Alright guys, everything's looking good. So you can see here, it's really hard. It'd be almost impossible for it to fall off this lip, because the seat is kind of pushing it, this way. So there's no way it's coming off. I had a problem with that in my last build. I would be sleeping back here, and then sometimes I'll move and then I'll shift this thing forward and this whole thing will fall down. It's miserable.